Hi. So, yeah, I know it's been time. So, I'm back. We'll start with our next section, which is schools applied. Let's click here. So, this is an interesting part because whatever you select will decide your future tests. For example, I decide I want to go for business and my preference. So, basically, you guys have to select at least two schools at LUMS, which means of these four mentioned earlier, there's five actually, you have to select two of them. Assuming I select business school and the second one is humanities and social sciences school, right? I've clicked them. My first preference is by default the business school, and I want to go for management sciences. In case I can't make it there, my second preference would be accounting and finance. You can leave that out if you feel, "Okay, no, I don't want to go for accounting and finance. It's just this one that I would want to go for in this specific school." And the next one, which mentions these preferences, I decided to take up maybe politics and economics as my first preference, despite the fact that this is my second school. So, first school, I get my business management degree as my first preference, and the second preference school, I need to mention it here. I select this one as my first, and maybe economics as my second, and I have no intentions of going for math and economics because maybe math is not my thing, right? So if you're taking up these two schools, there are and this one too. I'll tell you this one. Yeah, these three schools. Right. So if you decide either of these three schools and select any two of these, you'll end up either giving your LCAT or you might go ahead with your SAT score. But if that's not the case, if you decide, I want to go for the humanities school and take up political sciences or comparative studies as my second preference, and maybe third is my sociology, anthropology, and then history and English, and then at the same time I decide I want to go for law. So, in case I decide on going for law, remember you have to take a test that is shared by the government called HEC LAT. I don't know if you're aware of it. You'll have to go ahead with it. So, instead of taking just the LCAT or SAT, you'll be ending up taking LUMS admission test plus the HEC law admission test. So I'm selecting the two at this point because I want to tell you the differences in the test at the same time, right? So my first preference is um, the science school, the engineering school, and I decide I want to go for computer science as my first preference, electrical engineering as my second, and chemical engineering as my third, and that's where I end my decision. You can select all of them, you can give preference to all of them, they will be accounted for. And my second preference is the law school, which only offers LLB. I take the decision, I click select with undertaking. So the question is, if I have taken up the science school as one of my school of interest, I'll have to set for the second LUMS test, which is the science aptitude test. I'll share on how do we get about it when we reach the test section, and what is it that you should prepare for when you're going ahead with this specific school. So we save and return to main. My information has been saved and my section is complete, and then we go ahead with the third one. So check out the next video that will tell, okay, how do we put in our academic information, which is another one where you guys are having trouble.